Hello, welcome to World Tanks. I'm Cabbage Mechanic, and with me as always is Tragic Loss. Just launched update 1.4 yesterday. Hope you guys are enjoying the Wheelie Boys, and we're going to be in here and chat. We're on all three channels, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. We're going to be answering your guys' questions and playing some games, hopefully better than last time.
Yeah. You're like, for some reason, you're like phasing in and out of existence.
Yeah, I do that. I occupy several planes of reality at the same time, so sometimes it can be difficult to maintain one.
Alrighty, so we're going to be playing a little bit of the French wheeled vehicles, which were launched with update 1.4. We're also going to be going over some of the things that were changed over the patch. So keep that in mind as we slowly get ourselves ready to launch ourselves around the maps in this interesting wheeled monstrosity.
I think Beatshead had a line earlier that I think was a pun on Watt Wheels as opposed to Hot Wheels.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fantastic, actually. I like that.
Yeah, but so as most of you who have already played the wheeled vehicles probably know, it's real easy to go in fast and die early, which is really the opposite of what you should do, because the great concealment and the great mobility of these tanks is going to benefit you the most later in the game when there's less players on the battlefield. So that's what we're going to try and do today, is not die early.
Not die early.
Not die early.
Mute browser. Hello, goodbye. Alright. Browser should be muted now.
Yoink. Shout out to some of our regulars in chat. We have Mani. I see Ort. Thanks, sir, for letting us know about the echo. Sorry about that.
Much appreciated. Anyways, so I'm ready in my tank because I've actually played it on this account. We are on our sheriff, so if anything, if you decide that you want to try and drop into one of our matches, go ahead and try. We're not going to be doing count-ins today because we kind of want to go through a bunch of the tanks, and so we're going to be switching tiers and going over a few things about the patch. So we'll go ahead and drop into this first match. We're going to say hi to some of you who are in chat. Hello, Bob Norman. How are you doing? Hey, Montague. We have Kermit. We have Peter Baldin. I don't know if that's like a description.
I think it's just probably a name. You probably
maybe.
Sorry for the offense, Peter. A lot of great respect for the Baldwin clan.
So let's hop into battle. We're not going to do count-ins today, so.
We are going to be starting with the Tier 8 Premium, the EBR 75. This vehicle's not out yet. It's coming soon. But it is going to be the best crew trainer for your French wheeled vehicles, of course.
Yes. So this was released, let's see, last month?
No, it hasn't been released yet.
This was shown off.
Yeah, we've been doing live testing over the last month as a way of testing the mechanics.
So, if you were lucky enough to drop into any of our CC's streams, you might have earned yourself a 7-day rental of the vehicle. So a lot of people got to, try them out. So hopefully you were one of those lucky people.
Should I boot the... We're not doing count-ins, right?
We're not doing, yeah.
Okay, we're just going to click on that. All right. Let's see. We had a couple questions in chat. Can I fix your broken cabbages? Bob Norman on Facebook. I can give it a shot, but the name is actually a reference to an old Royal Navy term for a poor chef, which I am not a very good cook. That's the joke. It's a real origin.
Yeah, I know. It's real interesting.
Kimchi Repairman is my alternative name.
Oof. So we're going to be going over, like I said, some of the stuff that we changed in update 1.4. So one of the biggest things that you guys might have noticed in your garage is you got a new little button at the bottom of your screen. That is for your recruits. So we actually changed the referral program to make it a little bit more friendly for people, especially since our last referral program, if you got your friend to tier 10, only you would get the tank, but unfortunately your recruitee got absolutely nothing, unfortunately. So this version of the referral program now rewards both of you. So you, as the recruiter, can actually get a tier 8 vehicle, and then your recruitee can actually get a tier 6. So that's pretty nice. I believe they're both going to be premium tanks, so, oops.
Yeah, it's going to be a rotating roster that you can select
solid
from.
Building right there.
So, a little bit of a clunky change from the old program to the new one. If anybody got stuck out with the old program, I'm sorry, that's horrible. But the new program is going to be much, much better for everyone. So,
yeah.
Check it out. You have that nice handshake button in the bottom left of your garage. You can click on that and get some more information in the game client directly.
Oh, absolutely. So with the new referral program, essentially you can earn more experience playing with your recruitee than if you play without them. And they'll be able to advance faster across the board, so that's pretty nice. You get lots of rewards for both of you, I believe. So if you guys want more information on that, there is an article, and if I could ask if Crazy Boop might be able to actually post the link for that, that would be absolutely awesome.
Shout out to Crazy Boop helping us moderate all 3 chats and getting some important links out to you guys. While I believe Cosmo Kramer's son, I think that was his name.
Full name. Every time.
Asked about my beard. I've had my beard since 2011, so this is 8 years. I do trim it. It's not been growing for 8 years, but that's your answer. Can only take so much British accent.
I'm gonna
I
die.
love British accents. I actually love watching.
Oh no, I'm gonna die.
That's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. And I died.
Hey. That's not what you're supposed to do. I died.
It's true. But what happened there is this Object 705A has pushed up the east flank and just completely decimated us because we had no weight there at all.
Geotroll says fruit lines, please. I'm assuming they mean front line.
Oh.
Which, soon? Very, very,
Monday.
very soon.
Monday.
Okay, well.
Frontlines is coming Monday, probably.
He's the community manager, he can do that.
I can't. I'm probably in trouble right now. But yeah, it's supposed to start Monday. We're
very close.
It's gonna happen. I have full faith.
So, Frontlines, very soon. We know you guys like that mode, so did we. If you haven't seen the Frontlines video, we essentially let you guys know that they're going to be going on for 10 months, so between February and November is what time they're going to be running, and they're going to be a week long each, so you have a week to get, your prestiging, I suppose. So that's going to be pretty cool. Outside of Frontlines, which I put in, I have a little sheet here that I essentially said, okay, this is what we're going to be talking about. It says soon.
I always ignore her
Frontline soon
schedule and talk about whatever hits my dumb brain at the moment. Sorry.
It's true. New French line, French wheeled vehicles, new referral program, Frontline's very soon, and multi-core rendering. So if you guys, don't have the best computer in the world, hopefully you guys have noticed that you get an increase in FPS. A lot of people have been commenting really recently on not only Reddit, but also on the YouTube video that we had about multi-core rendering, about getting more FPS. So hopefully you're one of those people that got an increase, a nice little boost of, some people were reporting like 20 more frames per second.
Yeah,
so going from 20 to 40 or 50,
that's probably going to help higher end systems the most.
Yeah.
But if you have a higher end system, you're now able to take advantage of those extra cores. A lot better in one. So
I don't have enough XP to buy the tier 10.
For the wheelies.
Yeah. So I'm going with tier 9.
So Domo Sapien is crediting us some experience. Crazy,
boy.
maybe you could poke him and have him throw in a bit more. Thank you for the eyebrow compliment, Ree. I get them threaded all the time. So I gotta stop moving my green screen.
Yeah.
I think Michael on Facebook said a nice hello to us. Hello, Michael. Thanks for stopping by.
Let's see. I don't mind the wheeled vehicles. They look great after an HE round hits them. Yeah, with those little, wobbly wheels that you get. Yeah, pretty interesting.
We also had a question about how to play the wheeled vehicles.
Ooh, very carefully.
Don't see a niche for them. Yeah, I agree with you. they're definitely a weird niche. I would recommend going to YouTube and checking out True Voodoo's video on the wheeled vehicles. It's fantastic. True Voodoo is much better at this game than we will ever be, and he has some great tips for playing them and the kind of roles that they can fill.
Oh yeah. So from what I've heard from CCs and other top characters, I suppose, they're very light tank-esque. However, there are some things that you have to be careful about, including tight spaces. Your tank can't turn on a dime like you're used to. The gun handling is pretty good. Accuracy and dispersion, alright. Pretty alright. In general, it has at least the premium has a 2-round clip. I think as well the tier, let's see. You have a clip? Where's the... Oh. What? It doesn't have a clip? Thought it did.
Dun dun dun.
What? Okay, well, that was surprising to me. Anyways,
just a quick reload.
Yeah, it does have they do all have pretty quick reloads, so that's pretty nice. They do have less view range base, but you can get it up to max with crew training and binocs or coated optics, ventilation, stuff like that. So that's just stuff to keep in mind if you're trying to go up this line, because it's going to be a little bit more difficult to play than the light tanks that you're used to. So
and light tanks, to begin with, not the easiest class to play, as you know. Yeah. So these vehicles are definitely aimed squarely at the people who are willing to take the time in.
Now I can get my tier 10.
Really think and play the game carefully at a high level.
Alright. Cool. I'm going to purchase without crew, and I'm going to actually throw my crew from the EBR. I'm actually going to send it to the barracks.
Jared, that is a point. Jared on Facebook says they get outspotted by lights. They do. Normal light vehicles have a higher spotting range. That's the trade-off for having the mobility that the wheeled vehicles have.
Right, you're doing the tier 6.
Yes, sorry, that's what I have ready. I figured we'd go up.
Well, alright, I'm purchasing it without crew then.
Just slap them in there.
Alright. No, I don't want to leave the platoon. I want to pick my tier 6. Hello. There we go. And we're going to throw my Pinard crew into... Okay, this mouse...
May very well be. We'll be looking at all the data from the release very carefully. So there might be changes in the future depending on how they perform now.
I think these transfer over quite nicely, actually. Oh, no, they don't. Let's just retrain. Sorry, guys, I'm taking forever, I know. It takes a really long time to train a crew to your current vehicle. It'll be fine. Current vehicle, 100%. Yes, I want to do that. Can be really ugly late game. Oh, absolutely.
That's true, JB John.
Let's see. This is all interesting. We'll be coming to PC. We may or may not be playing PC right now, so cannot confirm or deny. Alright, cool. Oh wait, I need to... Oh man. Not exterior.
Make it look pretty.
Okay, I swear. I don't want to make it look pretty. I want to get into battle and just play. First aid kit.
So the tier 6 here, the AMD 178B. Unlike the later vehicles, it's only got 4 wheels to put on the ground. None of the fancy 6x6 nonsense. It's a little higher profile than the other wheelie boys. But still very small relative to most of the vehicles in the game.
Alright.
That's right, it's very hard. You really want to play these things very passively at the beginning of the game.
I'll go in without modules, I suppose. It'll be fine.
Just to get this one in.
Yeah, just to get this one in. Okay. Hello, everyone from Turkey. Hello. How are you? Unknown Tanker says, "Hey, Tragic, how's it going?" It's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. So outside of multi-core rendering, I think, this is one of the topics that people bring up all the time, and it's maps. So with update 1.4, we actually added a map that has been in our game for a little while, but needed a little bit of an expansion to be viable for actual gameplay versus it's been a part of competitive play, it's been a part of Rampage mode, if you guys ever played that, was Ghost Town. So Ghost Town has been added in the 1.4 update. It was expanded to 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, I believe, so it's about the size of any normal map that you might play on at slightly higher tiers, so keep that in mind. Crazy Boop is still bothering you about your green screen.
It's fine. It's supposed to move.
It's supposed to move. Haven't got the new map yet. Is it in rotation? Yes. So if Crazy Boop can post the link to the update 1.4 release, that'll show you Ghost Town. I actually don't remember if it is tier restricted, but I do know.
I don't believe so.
Okay, so
yeah, and for those of you who are familiar, Ghost Town started life as a competitive map. It was designed to be very symmetrical to appeal to that audience. So the spirit of that has been kept in its transition to a proper random battles map.
All right. Well.
But yeah, it's early on yet. I have seen some people say they don't like this version.
That I'm running.
The old competitive version was very popular, so we'll, as always, we will look at the data. Give you the Alexielian. Oh, there we go.
No.
We're getting this Cromwell. That's some good
There's
damage.
an AMX that's going all the way around us, so I'm gonna kind of see if I can go harass him.
So this first tier 6 actually has really good gun depression.
Yeah.
Because it sits so high up. That's a nice little feature. The gun doesn't do a lot when you hit. One of the tips that True Voodoo mentions in his video that I really like is the wheeled vehicles don't have tracks, so they can't turn on a dime.
Yeah.
But what you can do is just hold A or D without pressing W, and you'll make a much smaller circle because you're not adding acceleration to the mix. And so if you're in a tight spot with these wheeled vehicles, just holding that A is going to let you slowly turn around without maybe exposing yourself outside of the cover that you otherwise would if you use the W key.
So the other thing is, like, these things bounce when you kill them. And so there was actually a video up on YouTube, or not YouTube, on Reddit about this guy, like, kills one of the wheeled vehicles and it, like, launches itself forward. It's absolutely hilarious and I love it.
I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to check it out.
Oh, man. You're gonna love it. But no, so wheeled vehicles, super fun. Super interesting to play, absolutely, so keep that in mind. They're much different from what you're used to, so just know that you're going to have to change your playstyle quite a bit, to be able to play these. Especially if you're used to regular light tanks, because they're not going to drive around how you're used to. Oop, I almost ran into that.
Let's say the tier 6 is sort of a weird introduction too. It doesn't, the whole traverse, I guess it's just normal turning. It's not because it's a car, but the turn is slower on this one than in the later vehicles, and I suspect that might have to do with the contact patch.
Well, I rammed someone and I died. Anyways, they are pretty agile. They're just not so. They're fast, but they're not agile. So you can't really, if you have it on like the faster mode, your turning is going to be much worse. But if you have it on like the normal mode, which at the lower tiers you don't actually have the mode swap, which isn't boost, guys. It is not boost. Boost is not available on these tanks.
They still accelerate pretty quickly.
Yeah, they
but
still
not
accelerate.
as quickly as they did with boost.
No.
I did talk to the devs about the removal of boost. We had 4 tankers and a dog who's one of our great CCs. He's a light tank specialist who's really keenly interested in these vehicles. He really loved the boost and wanted to keep it. They're not happy with the boost with the way it was in testing, and they're gonna look at retooling it and potentially reintroducing it in a different form at a later date. But they didn't. They were looking at the data of people using it. Not enough people were using it. Not enough people were using it properly. Guys like Ford Tankers were able to make it work in very specific situations that look amazing when you watch the clips. So hopefully it will return in another form later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not meant to be used as a ram killer. Ramming in World of Tanks is all about weight. The more weight you have at a high speed, the better.
And the more armor.
And the more armor. Well, the armor brings weight. Yeah. But the wheeled vehicles are the lightest things in the game. So anything you ram, you're just going to blow up.
Yeah. So Damon had a question about the scavenger hunt missions. So those should be fixed by tomorrow. We had one of our awesome community coordinators, Domo Sapien. He was working on getting that resolved, so cross fingers that they'll be resolved by tomorrow. You should be a-okay on those. So
you want to move up to the tier 7, the Hotchkiss?
yes, I can.
Now we have 6 wheels to work with.
Yay!
We got a proper tier 10 radio.
Alrighty, let's...
Gotta stay in contact with our friends.
Okay. This mouse really doesn't like me.
Is it breaking down?
It's like, every time I click, it
Oh, did I
double-clicks.
fingers guns? I did. I'll have to pay him then.
Alright, oops, that was not correct. That one. Alrighty.
They do have a handbrake. Kurt and Axel, I think, both asked that.
Yeah. Retrain.
It can be... They're... The sliding with the rubber isn't... It doesn't feel quite the same as sliding with tracked vehicles, so it may take some getting used to, though.
Yeah. Oof. Oof. This mouse.
Andrew, it's a bit early to say if they're competitive or not. We have Andrew on YouTube asking if we think they're competitive.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to say. The light vehicles, light tanks, were already sort of struggling in that area, with the exception of maybe the T100 LT.
Yeah.
It's early to say. We'll see if any of the high-level players adopt them. I can see them being kept in because of how advantageous they are to have late game with the extra speed over other light tanks.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, strongholds. So competitive doesn't always necessarily mean stuff like Clan Wars, but expanding into stuff like strongholds and advances could possibly be competitive. I can see maybe, like, tier 8. Maybe. It would be interesting, but it would be really difficult. Really difficult, I think. Yes, I did see your tip. Thank you. The Real Board O. Interesting name. Like it. What equipment? Vert stabs, coated optics, and vents. So, I don't play light tanks very often, so I'm not 100% sure how to kit this out, so...
I run a rammer and everything just because I hate the idea of losing DPM. But that may not be the optimal choice for a vehicle who's obviously not oriented around damage.
Yeah. So, outside of Ghost Town, which we just talked about, we also had a bunch of map changes, so I'm gonna just go through the list of maps that had changes to them. So, we had Abbey, Airfield, Cliff, El Halouf. Empire's Border was changed in that it no longer has an assault mode. Corellia, Klondike, which is one of the Grand Battles maps, I believe. Lakeville, Live Oaks, Minsk, Mervanka, Nebelberg, which is the other Grand Battles map, and Steps. So those are all of the maps that got changed in 1.4, hopefully for the best for you guys.
The primary changes were the removal of boosting and climbing areas.
Yeah.
Because obviously these new wheeled vehicles have a new level of mobility that hasn't been in the game before. They're able to get to a lot of spots that were really difficult for other tanks to get to. Oh, did we get Ghost Town? We did.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, let's see.
So
the goal here is to survive past minute 3.
Assault. We have Assault.
Whelp was made into a map.
Oof.
Got him.
I already see the Derpinator. Yeah. Cool. watching the stream. Oh, hey.
Some of them do. The EBR Premium does, I believe. Has an auto loader.
I'm
But
gonna
not
go
the lower tier tech tree ones do not.
north-ish. Ooh, they don't do too well on grass, though. Or, sorry, grass. Sand. Wow.
Snow? Is this snow?
Is this snow? Is this?
Are we doing butterfly guy meme? Is that-
Yeah, we are.
Oof. Also not too great at tight turns here. In the Hotchkiss. It just...
Wow.
It feels totally different from other
Where's
vehicles you
T?
played in the game because it doesn't have the same turn on a dime tread mechanic that you're used to, even in slower,
Ooh,
heavier
hello.
tanks.
Oh no, that's the 13 GF,
Oh,
by
no.
the way, absolute killer of these tanks. So if you see one, literally run away. You do not have the health for that. Like, thing has like 7 rounds in a clip, or something like 7 or 11.
There are
One of the above.
There are certain light tanks who are absolutely wheeled vehicle predators, and the 1357 is probably at the top of that list.
Oh yeah.
A 1357 can keep up with you and drop his whole clip into you, and you're gonna have a bad day in one of the wheeled vehicles if you let a 1357 get close to you.
Absolutely.
Your car doesn't run good on the beach. What did you expect? That's right. You have to put
Yeah.
some paddle tires on.
I mean, you're not wrong. I didn't think about that. Not the girlfriend you want to meet. No,
This is the
not at
GF.
all. Oh, no. Yep. Okay, let's do a 30-point turn. Trying to get this tank around. Ooh, okay, so the the GF left, so we have the Tiger over here. Do we have the other Hotchkiss, actually?
Well, the 1357's over on this side now, but I lost him.
Yeah, it seems
Do
like
they have two?
this
They
Tiger
do. They have two.
is the only
Including a
thing
Reddit.
left. Oh, there's the Hotchkiss.
One of them's a
the
Reddit
enemy
clan.
Hotchkiss. Boop. No, that was my thing, my ammo.
So somebody was asking questions about how these stack up against the other light tanks earlier, like what their role is. Nominally, they're supposed to be better at active scouting. The extra mobility and the lower profile, you're supposed to be able to be more aggressive. In practice, what I've found so far is that most people really don't actually have that much trouble hitting you. Later in the game is really where you start to see some extra benefits because you can cover more of the map quicker.
Why are you ramming me?
Artillery, especially later
Oh
in the
no,
game.
I'm gonna die to this guy.
We have 3
Or not.
Nice.
I'm fine.
Well done.
I'm okay. Ish for like 5 more seconds.
The wheeled vehicles are it's a
Thunderstorm.
new tech tree line that starts at tier 6 in the French light tree. So you have to go down the French light tree, get past the first few beginner vehicles, and then here we go. I was just talking about how the wheeled vehicles are SPG predators, and boy have I found one who's mad I'm here.
Trying to... There we go. Now I'm looking at you.
He's dead. Oh, did you die?
Yeah,
So
I died.
sad. So sad. We just took out an
Tragic
M12.
Lost, you know if the Lord 40T will get reworked with a wheel vehicles tracking system since it has tires and tracks. At this time, we have no information on that. As far as I think the Lorraine 40T is absolutely fine as is, and I would be kind of pissed if we changed it. So...
I haven't heard that will be the case.
yeah.
Also, I have both 1357 shooting at me right now.
Yeah, that a little deserved. As you are pretty in the middle of a lot of those people.
Gotta spot him to kill him.
Yeah. With the wheeled vehicles, will we finally get a Canadian tech tree line? Might be interesting, but at this point in time, I don't think so.
I'm pushing for you, Canada. Trying to...
We love your maple syrup. Actually, man, I thought
Okay.
you were gonna die.
I thought I was gonna die too. I actually didn't mean to ram him.
Are you stuck?
I might... No, I can get out. It's just gonna take a minute. Maybe.
Insert Austin Powers, like, forward,
Yeah.
like, golf cart in the hallway. See, even if I did control click, like, this mouse has been double clicking all day,
Do we need
all
to
the
get you a
time.
backup mouse?
Possibly. Gary Lewis, are they asks, are they coming to console? Unfortunately, we aren't the console devs, but generally, with the release of a lot of the tanks that we release, or tank lines that we release, console hasn't been too far behind on following up with that and doing the same thing. However, like I said, we're not the console devs. We can't give you a timeline. We can't tell you if they're coming. We can't tell you when or anything about that because, well, we don't work on console.
We just don't know. I'd be happy to answer if I was able to, but you can find all the console channels if you just add console to the Underworld of Tanks. They have their own YouTube, they have their own social media pages, and they're a wonderful group of people up there in Chicago. We are in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Boston, Texas.
Boston, Texas.
Hey!
The Lorraine... Okay, so, the Lorraine 40T is actually a really great tank. It is probably one of my top, tier 8 premium tanks, and I don't actually play a lot of other, tier 8 premium tanks. The Lorraine is probably my favorite, and also the one that I do the best in. So, Lorraine 40T, just gotta learn how it plays, because it's actually really good. Really solid tank.
Harry Griggs on Facebook talking about smoke rounds for battles. It's not in the pipe right now, Harry, but I certainly understand your request, especially considering that's sort of a feature that is important in real tank battles. And a lot of the tanks in our game have smoke launchers modeled on them because our models are correct. But of course, we don't have smoke mechanics currently in the game.
Yeah.
But, you know, anything's possible. Some things more possible than...
Do you want to do a thing and, like, slide your camera over, like, that way?
To the right?
Just the camera. Just the camera.
To the right?
Yeah. Just a little bit more. Slightly more.
Gotta catch my good side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Alright, so, there we go. Now, hopefully, you won't disappear in and out of existence.
That's my goal. I'm trying to disappear.
I would, honestly, you should probably stay, because,
I got something real big going on in the spectral plane today. There's the money correct. Good point. There is smoke in front lines. True.
Yeah, there is.
True.
And you have to earn it though.
Starting next Monday, by the way. 1 week a month. The entire rest of the year. We have prestige levels, reward tanks. It's gonna be awesome, guys. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna have, since we're gonna have the rental system, which we have talked about, you guys can recruit your friends to play Frontlines. Yeah. Let's see. Can you open that door and it's still making a squeaking noise? What? What? I don't know what you mean.
The door's making a squeaking noise?
The door's closed. Door has been closed.
Who's squeaking? One of us is squeaking.
It's not me.
I don't think I'm squeaking.
I don't think I am either. Someone asked me if I jumped ship.
Ah!
Yeah, okay.
I appreciate you. I'm putting a quarter in the pun jar, but I appreciate you.
Oh, man. That was good. Let's see. So, outside of all of those changes, we're going to be talking about something. We posted a video today on our YouTube channel. This is not a part of patch 1.4, but it is something that we're working on. So, with that in mind, like I said, remember, we're not talking about patch 1.4 right now. We posted a video today up on our YouTube channel that has to do with a little something called Matchmaker.
You may have heard of it, or complained about it.
Or yelled about it, or are just in general very distraught over Matchmaker.
We hear you.
We hear ya. So, in that video, we essentially talk about some of the stuff that has been going on over the past few months with Matchmaker. Essentially, we kind of laid out for you guys. We know it's been an issue, so I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Essentially, currently, our Matchmaker tries to get you into a 357 format, a 510 format, or a straight-up 15 format of all same tiers. So, and thank you, Crazy Boop. He's actually posting it on all of our lovely chat areas.
What a dear.
Essentially, and I have been looking at some of the comments that are on there. So, with this essentially research that we've done over the past few months, People are getting 357 as a tier 8 and as tier 6 tanks, and getting bottom tier way more often than they should be, which is really unfortunate because we know that's kind of like not a fun place to be, which is bottom tier all the time, or bottom tier absolutely too excessively. So with this information, our devs are working on making a more dynamic matchmaker, so that way we can have things like, I don't know, math, 4, 6, no, 4, 5, 6 templates? So you can have 4 top tier tanks, 5 middle tier tanks, and then 6 bottom tier tanks. So that'll essentially make it so you guys won't get bottom tier as often, because Matchmaker can flex through all of the tiers and make sure that, you know, you get a better variety of types of battles. So instead of being bottom tier all the time, you might be getting, you know, a lot more top and middle tier games, which is awesome. It'll still go through the, like, oh, you can get these kinds of matches, which is 2 tier or 3 tier or single tier, which is kind of the, like, 357 idea. But with this flexible format, it'll be a lot easier, and it'll take a little bit longer for Matchmaker to figure things out. But it should be a lot easier to not be super frustrated with the idea that maybe you might be bottom tier.
Oh, hey, Warchild, thanks for stopping by. I'm working on a Sheriff event. We have been making some changes to the Sheriff missions, and that's been a bit touchy because those haven't been touched in a long time. But we are going to announce another Sheriff weekend fairly soon here. And we have some new cool stuff planned for it. I think you guys are going to enjoy. We had a Kalohi Smasha 808 on YouTube. We are trying to keep on track of all the chats, but we're getting all 3 in one window, so they're scrolling by pretty quickly. Again, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time, so we have a lot coming in. But we appreciate you guys all stopping by on your whatever platform you choose. That's why we're on all 3.
There's a tiger that's just kind of creeping up this way.
I see him, but I'm up in the middle and can't shoot him.
Leg it up a little bit.
Okay, I should not poke here. That's what I've learned.
Probably not. Where are you? Oh, yeah, no.
We have no one here. I don't know where.
Yeah. Well,
Usually this
heavies.
is a pretty big spot for heavies to fight each other, but
I don't know. It might be you, Tim. Might be you, Tim.
+1, I do see a lot of people talk about +1, -1 matchmaker as being a band-aid to fix everything. +1, -1 has a lot of problems that may not be immediately obvious to someone who doesn't have all the data on all the ecosystem of the game. In short, one of the biggest problems with +1, -1 is certain tiers are far more popular than others. So +1, -1 in and of itself could really damage some tiers. For example, Tier 9 has a much lower population than both 8 and 10. So switching to pure +1, -1 causes some havoc there, and can actually create bigger imbalances than what you're already might be experiencing with, you know, the being more likely to get lower tier at Tier 8. So we do want to emphasize 2-tier templates when appropriate, but it's just making all games +1, -1 is really not a great long-term solution. There are other factors as well, but that's an immediate one. Marsag, we're not going to have any giveaways this time. There are going to be rentals, though. The most basic one being the T44 will be available for a credit rental. And the T44 is just a great all-around tank. You know, it's a Russian medium. They are what they are.
Ow, can you see me? I don't know if he can see me. Ugh.
I like the look of this
Hiding.
one. The Lynx.
The
It's got a great name, too. I'm having trouble doing anything with it right now, though. Airfield is
Same.
a map that's sort of notorious for the best strategy
Ow,
is just
that
sit back
hurts.
and hope the enemy pushes you, because
Hold it.
it doesn't really reward
Oh.
aggression. And that's kind of what we're
Oh, I
seeing
did.
here. Is there's just not a lot of benefit for wheeled vehicles to play aggressively early on this map.
Yeah.
You're just going to take damage.
Unfortunately, we don't work on World of Tanks Blitz, so the tank commander, we won't have too much information to provide you, if any at all. So
I did see someone
Wrong
asking
channel.
about why there weren't preferential matchmaking in Blitz, why there wasn't preferential matchmaking in Blitz. And the short and quick answer to that is preferential matchmaking was a mistake. It's something that happened kind of early on in development. And it causes a lot of headaches with programming Matchmaker and trying to make it balanced for everyone.
yeah,
If the World of Tanks dev team could go back, and I've heard this from them directly, and not introduce preferred Matchmaker, they probably would, because it would make balancing the rest of Matchmaker much easier.
yeah.
And that is sort of the onus behind our original and since retracted attempt to remove it.
Yeah. So preferential matchmaker, essentially, if you're a programmer, you kind of can sort of understand how adding more rules to a set of organization can really muck things up. So essentially, if you tell someone, put blue things into the blue box, and then put red things into the red box, and then put them both into this separate box. However, if you say, okay, but you have this purple thing, which box do you put it in? Do you put it in the blue box or the red box? They're going to go into the same box in the end, but you still have to go through the idea of it needs to go between, and then you throw it into the box. It's kind of like Matchmaker. What tank are you picking? If you're picking one with preferential Matchmaker, that's the purple thing. You get the purple thing, you don't know where to put it, so you just kind of throw it into the box. And then you have to work around that. So
Someone's talking about older premium tanks being power
I love
creeped.
red
Are they
box.
going to get buffed? Nathan on Facebook, and I think somebody else mentioned, maybe it was just him repeating. We do have balance changes, a lot of big balance changes coming later this year. And the process for buffing some of those older tanks has already begun. The first wave was the preferred matchmaking tanks that we were just talking about.
Stefan or Steven, we did not remove preferred matchmaking. That's what we just said. We did not remove it. We preferred to buff them because nobody wanted the actual removal of it, and so we listened and we did not remove it.
That was the initial plan, was to solve that headache by removing them.
Yeah.
But the feedback we got from players is they loved them and they didn't want them removed, and we can respect that. It is something you've had for a long time. You're used to it. The cat's out of the bag. The barn doors are open and the horses are gone. Preferred matchmaking is in the game and here to stay.
Programmer here, fill box, can this go? Equals yes, box filled. What are you even talking about? Yeah, but if you add more rules to that filling of the box, you're going to get longer times to process that, but also you're going to have to, like, essentially sort through them in different ways versus a simplistic way. So that's why stuff like 357 was a good idea, but in implementing it with stuff like preferred matchmaker on certain tanks, that gave special rules to those, and so they had to be considered with that 357.
But I mean, as far as making it, might be easy to put it in the box, but how is that box balanced compared to all of the other boxes that all the other marbles need to go into? Because Matchmaker's working with a live queue, trying to fill all the boxes equally all the time. That's where the problem is. It is easy to just create matches for preferred matchmaking. Where it runs into issues is how that affects other vehicles that don't have preferred matchmaking.
Yeah. So, rules make confusing for matchmaking. Is the basis of all that.
Yeah.
So Matchmaker is slow now. Unfortunately, Matchmaker changes haven't been implemented yet. This is just something for the future. So Matchmaker, if you guys want to watch the video, I'm sure Crazy Boop can repost that link for you guys, where our devs go really in depth as to what's going on with Matchmaker and what we've been, headed towards for the past several months. So do keep that in mind. Matchmaker changes haven't been introduced to the game yet. We appreciate your guys' patience, though. do 4 for those. We'll be fine. So, and this is something also that I've talked with people extensively about. Most, if not a lot of players that I've spoken to, when I ask what the problem with 357 is, a lot of them actually say it's the frequency in which we are getting them. So if you're playing something like Tier 8, where a lot of people have their premiums at Tier 8,
because it's the best tier to have premiums,
yeah,
of course.
It's the most profitable. And so a lot of players are bothered by the fact that even if you're playing your premium tanks and you're trying to earn more, you're getting all of these matches in Tier 10, and that's not necessarily, you know, lucrative for you. And so being in Tier 10 matches so often is you know, frustrating. And so being able to be top or middle tier more often in 3-tier spreads is a lot nicer than just getting bottom tier all the time in 357. So
That's Tank Commander on YouTube. Fair point. They should be called armored cars.
Armored cars, yeah.
It's true. We are referring to them as wheeled vehicles officially, not wheeled tanks. But yeah, they are armored cars. That's absolutely the English nomenclature.
I need to put better.
OP Vendetta on YouTube says, "Too bad this game is dead." News to me.
Yeah.
But you know.
I mean, I'm still having fun.
What is dead may never die.
Thousands of players that still have fun daily. Yeah.
That's right, Wheelie Boys. Wheelie Boys is our preferred terminology.
Yeah. Within the office. Now I have to fix my loadout again. Why do I do this to myself? What am I doing with my life? I'm doing a lot, I swear.
Jeff, we do ban people for illegal mods all the time. We just had a ban wave near the end of last year that was about 1,800 accounts, I believe.
Yeah. We also, I believe, just had another ban wave of certain beep boops.
Oh yeah, we just had a bot ban in January. That's right.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm ready.
Let's do it. The EBR 90, the tier 9.
Let's see.
There, Execrable says that the multi-core support this patch brought his FPS up 20%. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's about what I'm seeing at home too. I have a pretty decent rig at home, and I'm getting a fantastic FPS boost from the update.
So, in terms of stuff like skill-based matchmaking, I don't necessarily think you know exactly what that means. So, when you have things like skill-based matchmaker, so if you think of other games such as League of Legends or Overwatch, they have separate queues for skill-based matchmaking. You can also do things like free play, which is essentially what our game is. Our game is constant free play, but we also have competitive modes like Clan Wars and Ranked Battles. So one of the cool things that you might see if you watch videos on like stuff like Clan Wars matches, or if you see stuff like Ranked Battles matches, you'll find that regardless of skill-based matchmaking or not, you're often going to get the same results, where you're winning about 50% of the time regardless. So overall, you're gonna get 50%-ish, but that's just because that's how probability is. You can change that probability by being better at the game and making a difference in how things happen in your situation, but generally, skill-based matchmaking doesn't really affect anything.
Well, I personally think there's an argument for equalizing the number of high-skill players on a team.
Yeah.
Where people with carry potential, but the idea that skill-based matchmaker solves all issues with matchmaker, I mean, it's not true. You can look at any game that does have skill-based matchmaker, and you will see just as many people complaining about matchmaker as they do in our game. I've played a lot of other games competitively and had the same experience. I'm sure any of you who played League of Legends are familiar with the concept of Elo Hell, where you get stuck in a skill level that you're superior to because of other people dragging you down, is the thought. And, you know, there's cases to be made. We do have all sorts of competitive play, if you are interested in that. Random battle in World of Tanks is just that. It's random battles, and that is the intent, is the design intent. You are going to be in matches where there are better players or better vehicle composition on the other team. You're going to be in matches where you have better vehicle composition or better players. Both of those things are supposed to happen, and both of those are all tracked against a 50% average, and help pretty well.
Oh, I got hit.
Yeah, Cream. That's kind of what I'm saying, Cream. But the point is that there are no matchmaking systems that everyone is happy with. It is not possible in competitive gaming to design a matchmaking system that everyone will think is great all the time.
Yeah.
What you have to do is try and maximize the opportunities to be as equal as possible. And that is what we're trying to do with the new system.
No, absolutely, Nathan. There's no perfect solution, but we are definitely trying to minimize all of the frustration points and pain points that people are talking about. So, over the years, and this is something that you'll see within the video if you watch it, essentially, previously there was 4-tier spreads of tanks, so you had 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and that was not the best thing in the world, which is, you know, understandable. So, being in a tank that literally can never pen a top-tier tank if you're the last person left is not very fun. So over the years, we've improved Matchmaker into ways where everybody can make a difference in a game that they're playing. Always available ranked modes. That would be kind of interesting, actually.
We do have rank coming back this year, but
Yeah.
yeah, the always available is that would solve the problem. He's right. We'll take that. Yeah, sorry, we got a bit off track there. We are on the tier 9 wheeled vehicle. We'll probably play another one in this, just to give it a little bit more coverage. ROTMG Productions had a... Okay, good. Crazy Boops helping him out there. It sounds like having some technical issue with the launcher.
Interesting. Yeah.
Monty remembers being in a TR where we had tier 1s fighting against tier 10 was not fun.
Yeah.
The video actually covers that pretty well. The Dev Diaries that launched today on the YouTube channel, which you guys should check out, talking about Matchmaker and how it's evolved over time and what we're trying to do to improve it now. Oh boy, Cajun's here.
Oh, oh boy.
Suspense
the salt.
It's really fun to go back and look at the early days of WoW, where very few people, except the most hardcore grinders, had anything above tier 8.
Yeah.
And so you have mouse, just mouse against, you know, a Chaffee or something ridiculous like that. It's. I don't even know if the Chaffee was in the game at the time.
Oh, man.
But there's some hilarious matchups.
I mean, so, Jared, it's definitely understandable, like, when you have massive skill differences, but, you know, solely basing things on skill-based Matchmaker is probably generally not a good idea, and you'll still get some of the same complaints that we do now.
Cody on Facebook has any tips on how to get better at this game? Check out the newcomer section on our forums. We have a lot of great guides there. We also have, even if you're not a newcomer, you might find some useful information about mechanics that you might not know already. I also recommend checking out our community contributors. A lot of them put out some great informative content on how to get better at the game. If you're a light tank player, 4Tankers has some great stuff. Guido1212 on YouTube puts out some great stuff.
Brent just scared me.
When
will the E25 be buffed?
Oh,
just kidding.
Yeah, the E25 does not.
Don't scare me like
need
that.
To be buffed. That's a shout out to Meathead too.
Man.
Meathead to this day refuses to keep an E25 in his garage.
Like, so when I say skill-based matchmaker would probably be really bad, I mean solely basing every single match on skill-based matchmaking. Like, attempting to even them out overall would be nice, but like solely basing things on you have this skill level, we're going to put you against someone of the same skill level on both teams. Like, evening them out a little bit more would be nice, though.
Sorry, there was a question I wanted to see. Someone was asking about tournaments. Chris Carson on Facebook. We have a tournament section in the forums as well that has a bunch of guides on how to get started in tournaments, so I would recommend checking that out. We run tournaments everywhere from 1-to-1 to 1v1 versus 7v7, so definitely get in there and check it out if you're interested in playing some competitive play with some good rewards.
The Tank Commander, out of curiosity of it all, why haven't Wargaming added the Japanese tank destroyers yet? So, in time, we'll see different lines added, but at this time, we don't have any information on Japanese TDs being added. So essentially, like, over time, you'll see some of your favorite, like, tank lines come out that are a part of history, but right now, they're not, like, we don't have any information on that, so...
Shout out to GPC on, I think it was on YouTube, just popped in. Great point. What is skill? There are some players who are great in a T67 and terrible in anything else. That's a great point, and that's something that comes up a lot with the win rate modification for, what's the popular rating mod everyone uses that's slipping my mind?
Win8?
Win8, no, the mod, XVM. XVM has the win projection. And it's like, we take all the win percentages of every player on each team, and we spit out a number that tells you what your chances are of winning this game. That number is hilariously silly. There's no chance it's anywhere close to accurate. And part of the reason is your overall win rate does not affect it doesn't account for your win rate in specific vehicle types. It doesn't account for your win rate in specific maps, specific matchups. It's a completely unreliable number. You can't just take that raw number. It's great for looking at a bigger picture. You can get an idea of how good a player someone is. But in a specific battle, the idea that you can produce an equal win rate from taking that bigger, larger number, the portfolio number, it's not true. You're not going to get accurate numbers. I win games where... A great indicator that I'm about to win a game is when somebody pops into chat and goes, 30% win chance. Every time I see that, we win the game. I'm immediately relieved.
I remember seeing once someone said that we had... Oh, I thought we were doing tier 10.
Sorry, I wanted to give the tier 9 one more time.
No worries. I will send mine back to my crew back to the barracks and retrain... It's fine. I have enough gold for it anyway. Boy. You know, I should just probably train them to the Panhard.
Are we having troubles on Facebook?
Are we?
Cody's asking if the stream ended. Matthias on YouTube wants to know if there's more wheeled vehicles coming. Very possibly. There's a lot of other countries historically that had wheeled vehicles. The British probably most notoriously for us Westerners with their engagements in North Africa. So very possibly not announced yet, though. We don't, nothing that's going to be entering Super Test anytime soon.
Alrighty. Cool, and I am ready. Facebook is working. Cool. Oh. Stop trolling my battles. Wasn't me.
Oh, apparently I'm getting blamed for us losing that last game.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Yeah. My bad, Gangsta Killa.
Oh, boy.
I did have a poor game. Must be nice to have all that gold. These aren't our real accounts. These are demo accounts.
Yeah.
You actually get 250 gold for killing us when we're playing these sheriff accounts. But our real accounts don't. I don't have that much gold. I promise you. I wish I did.
I only have about half as much gold.
I try and get Trusted Llama, our CS specialist, to give me extra gold all the time. He won't do it.
You spend a lot of your gold.
I do. I go through a lot of gold. I convert a lot of XP. I play a lot of premium tanks. I convert a lot of XP. I do.
I'm trying my best, Leonard. Leonard. I don't know why I called you.
Yeah, Nick Cooper with a good point. It's reasonable if the same team's played 100 battles, but isn't a good predictor for a single battle. Yep. It's pretty much where it's at. seeing Ghost Town makes me miss WGL. I miss WGL too.
Ditto. Oh man.
We the final event in LA in 2017 was such a hoot.
XPH. So
How's it going, Deathman?
these are sheriff accounts. They're essentially event accounts. Like we're part of a mission technically. You can kill us for gold. But also we don't. The only reason why we use gold on these is for, like, outfitting our tanks. That's basically it.
So here's a position where the wheeled vehicle is just not as good early game as other light tanks. I'm posted up here on the K line. Great light tank spotting position, making sure we don't get swept from the south flank. But I don't have the view range of a normal light tank in the EBR-90, so I'm not going to be as effective as a normal light in the same situation.
What did I spot? ELC.
Oh, that's a T-49. I'm scared.
Ooh.
T-49 is the last thing you want to see
Killed.
up close in a wheeled vehicle. I'm going off the cliff. I did it.
Kenneth, I believe Cabbage really wants to get the E5 buffed, so you have someone on your side.
I got clipped last stream saying that I'm trying to get the E5. I am trying to get the E5 buff, trust me. It doesn't mean they're going to listen to me, to be clear.
Yeah.
But I 100% want every American tank in this game to be overpowered. I am an American homer, 100%. But the E5 really does need some love. It's the nerf. It was overpowered for a very long time, and when it got the bat, a very much needed nerf bat, it probably hit a little too hard.
No.
That giant weak spot on the top, as many of you are probably pointing out right now, is it's really rough compared to other tanks of the same type right now. We're getting swept here in the south.
Yeah. A little bit.
But luckily, I have the mobility to reposition. And I took out the T-49.
Saw that. Let's see. I feel like XPH is mocking us a little bit. That's fine.
Yeah, on the Artie.
Yeah.
Artie players like Artie.
Yeah.
I would say the current iteration of Artie is pretty unlikely to be the final iteration.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not a huge Artie fan either. I'm with you guys. But there are Artie players out there. They want to play the game too. Crazy Boop right now. Big Artie guy. I did ban him from playing the left though. So you're welcome, those of you in queue.
Come on, let me... Oh, it's a G player. Like, we're getting wrecked by someone. Right.
Tank Commander on YouTube just pointed out that the TKS, the little Polish tankette we gave away, is a tank destroyer, not a light tank. Little diamond symbol for tankettes. I like it. I like the idea. And I guess you could argue it's definitely a tank destroyer instead of a light tank. It's certainly not a scout with a fixed casemated gun to the hull. Why does the T92 SPG do more splash damage than it does direct hit? Does it?
What? No.
If it does, I'm intrigued. I'm just as curious as you.
I mean, so there's lots of ways that a splash can do more damage than a direct hit, but that's not necessarily true 100% of the time. So, like, if an artillery splashes you, like, essentially under your tank, there's, like, very little armor under your tank, and so that could be a possibility. But also, like, direct hits onto a thick part of armor can also be a factor in what's happening.
Oh, that's a T95. Gonna nope out of there. Use that True Voodoo technique to make a sharp turn around this corner and then promptly run into a wall. I
feel like you're doing way better in your wheeled vehicles than I am.
I'm still not doing that good. These are definitely high skill cap tanks, for sure. if you're the kind of person who really loves taking the time to master something, this tank is going to be really rewarding, because the level between starting out and being actually good at them is going to be huge, especially for peasant players like myself.
And me.
Shout out to True Voodoo. One of the things True Voodoo's video that I mentioned earlier points out is removing that W key makes the turns much sharper. So here's the W turn. I'm going to do it right in front of this guy that's poking so he can shoot me. And then, so that's slow. I took a wheel shot. And here's without the W. It's so much faster. So you definitely, that's number one tip. When you need to turn quickly, get off the W. And then get shot from the rear. But where was he? Oh, he was right there the whole time. Okay.
Nice.
Had no
Good
idea.
job. I'm proud of you. I'm trying to see if I can quickly find
John Golden, I'm interested. I will look into that.
True Voodoo's video.
GPC wants to see British LTs. I do too. We might just be happy sometime in the future.
Ah, here we go. Here's
Together,
True
you and
Voodoo's link. Alright, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna paste it into chat. Ooh, that's not the right link. Alright, let's pause that.
Why do players use the SPG stun time to take a break, then the time to shoot the stun enemy? You're gonna have to take that up with your teammates, Brent. I'm with you. I think you know, it's probably a good time to get aggressive is when the guy you're fighting gets stunned. But
And there we go. So I've been retraining this singular crew to all through all of my tanks, and the thing is, when I retrained it to a different tank, it didn't give me the option to return crew to vehicle, because the vehicle was no longer for that tank. So if I send these all to barracks, and I retrain for this tank, which I will momentarily, you'll find that I won't actually get the return crew feature, I believe. So if I do retrain to 200%, retrain, I go back to the tier 9. Oh, I can. Okay, well, I was wrong. Thank you for that one. Oh, but now I have to send them back to...
there's so many UI tricks. So
yeah.
many little things that we don't do a good enough job of telling people exist.
True.
We're trying to. We're working on tooltips. As some of you have
Slowly
probably
but
seen.
surely. Alright.
But I would say, you know, our UI is not the best out there. I'll be the first to say it. We're working on improving it every day.
Alright. So, resupply automatically. Our tier 8 discounts incoming like other servers for front lines.
I believe so. I have to check the sheet.
The sheet.
We have a whole lot of sales coming up.
Yeah.
Around tier 8's frontline. You know.
Yeah.
It's not an opportunity we're gonna miss.
Plus, we have the new rental system as well. For front lines.
So we're up to the tier 10. If you want a proper rundown of the new wheeled vehicles, probably go check out Quickie Baby's tech tree breakdown. I'm sure he's already got it out.
We did not remove boosts, so people can't get into broken map positions, which, oops, hold on.
Yeah, most of those map positions have been blocked as of the 1.4 patch, actually.
Yeah, so...
I don't know if you've tried to get up them since the patch, but most of them have been blocked.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a few that haven't been.
Yeah, so
we'll find them. Sorry.
So they now have invisible walls, so even if they did have the boost, they wouldn't be able to get up there, so I'm not sure what you mean.
The boost was more about the devs just not being happy with how it was working out as a mechanic. They didn't feel like people were getting a good use out of it, so they put it back on the drawing board to see if they could come up with something that would make it more accessible to players. But
also, with the idea of blocking out places where people were getting to with stuff like the boost, the reason why we why we added invisible walls was because those areas aren't meant for people to get up to, and so they aren't balanced as part of the map, and so you could get to those places with certain tanks, but there was no opposition for that, and so it's like giving someone an unfair advantage because there's only one spot on a particular map where you can get up there, and there was no place for the other team to do the same. So we didn't include that as part of the map, and so it was imbalanced. And so that creates an absolutely unfair advantage. If we did, in some fashion, at some point, attempt to balance those, maybe we can bring those back, but at this point in time we're not going to have mountain goating, as most people referred to it as.
Will the Progetto rental from the 75th anniversary missions be able to go into Frontline? Yes, I'm 99.9% sure. The rentals should interface with Frontlines perfectly fine, just like missions. Okay. Don't know how they can get hit by 3 Arties in a row and not rage. I guess high paycheck. Well, I do rage when I get hit by 3 Arties in a row, actually.
It's just that we don't rage on camera. We rage internally.
If you see me get hit by 3 artilleries, I will probably rage on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that just as frustrating.
But no, we try to be professionals on camera because, like, in general, you shouldn't be screaming profanities while you're streaming as a company. So
well, yeah, I guess it depends on your definition of rage. I wouldn't start cussing. That's bad.
Well, it's your game. Just don't make the spots possible to get. We did. That's why we added invisible walls.
Also, if you don't... Sorry, I totally just brain farted. If you want to experience getting arty focused, try playing a Sheriff account. sign up for one on our Sheriff weekend. You will never be focused harder. I don't care how high your win rate is. You will never be focused harder than when you're playing a Sheriff account by artillery.
Not sure what you mean by professionally ignoring every imbalanced part of the game. Like I said, or as I've said previously in like a ton of streams, World of Tanks is always evolving, and we're always trying to make improvements. It's not necessarily the improvement that you, singular person, want to see. However, it's, in general, there's a lot of people that are going to be unhappy with the change that we make, regardless if the other half is happy with it. There's always a half that's going to be unhappy with whatever change that we make. So we can't make the game perfect for everybody, but we can make the game perfect. Well, not perfect. We can make the game better for a majority of players. So it's not perfect for you, but it's good for a lot more people. So I feel like possibly it's a little bit weird to say that we're ignoring imbalances. We do try to
I mean, it's just not true.
Out.
Like, to be completely frank, we survey, many of you have probably gotten our surveys. We're constantly taking feedback from players and evaluating what the highest pain points are. We're not always able to solve them as quickly as we would like, but we 100% do value everything the players tell us. We 100% do try and solve the pain points that our players experience. You know, I'm sorry, you may have some specific issues that need to be fixed that we aren't having the pipeline right now, but I promise you, if they are real issues that the majority of the player base is experiencing, we will try and fix them. But one thing, and this is something that I'm just as guilty of, I come from a competitive gaming background before I started working in the industry. It's very easy as a player to look at a game and point out one thing that's wrong with it, or that you perceive to be wrong with it, and say, hey, if this is fixed, it's going to be perfect from here. The reality is the ecosystem of the game and how everything interacts. Wow, this vehicle is very twitchy.
Yeah.
The ecosystem is much more complicated than you might anticipate.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest lesson I've learned transitioning from a competitive player to someone who works in the industry. And what I mean by that is, changing something that might appear on the surface to be incorrect can have unintended consequences elsewhere, in ways that you would never be able to predict ever, even if you're a highly experienced professional with all the skills and experience you might need. But correct. The game is not perfect, and we will continue to try and improve it. I promise you that. This tank is wheeled vehicle is it is ridiculously twitchy. Oh my.
Okay. Yeah.
So fast though.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. I feel like I'm driving a shopping cart on steroids. The cart is on steroids, not me.
Can pieces of metal take steroids? Does that improve them?
Yes.
Of course we play the tier 10 wheeled vehicle, and typical matchmaker. What is the map we get?
Okay.
Himmelsdorf. I want to go 90 kilometers an hour on Himmelsdorf. Said no one ever.
That's my face. Oh my god. Like 90% of my wheels were out of whack. Go
90%
away.
of your wheels? You only have 8 wheels.
Yeah, I had like 7 wheels that were screwed up. Ah, no!
It's like 86%.
Shh. Math, whatever. Oh no, there's an EVR that's coming for me. Help, help.
Yeah, I have one coming for me too.
Oh no, that was really bad.
Yep, we're in trouble. Look
Metal
at that
doesn't
speed.
take steroids.
Ludicrous speed go. Oh man, that's fantastic.
So,
The hit and run.
XPH gonna address your 90% is vastly incorrect. I will let you know that.
What do you say?
He said Artie is imbalanced and 90% of the community doesn't like it.
Yeah, we.
Incorrect.
That's. I mean, we do surveys all the time, like I said, and I can promise you the number is not 90%. What I will say is that, and this is true in any area. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, might be a saying you've heard before. The people who aren't happy with something are going to be the most vocal about it, which is why you can have a sort of consensus form that you might be surprised to find most players don't actually share the same priorities as you. They might have other problems with the game. They might not think or care about it as much. There's a lot of reasons. Maybe they're not as good as you, and they just don't know as much as you. That's certainly possible. But yeah, I promise you that 90% is not the number of people who are dissatisfied with the RD changes.
Oh, we're both dead.
We are.
Alrighty.
Both dead. That was a rough.
That was a super rough match.
We're gonna have to
Alright.
replay that one. Timothy
Man,
Flight already needs to be limited to 1, not 3. I kind of support that idea actually.
Yeah, I like personal opinion as well. I also don't like having as many artillery in a match. I'd be okay with 1 or 2. 3 gets to be way too much because you can go on a like rotation of 5 to 10
Especially
seconds.
if you run into some French artillery.
Oh yeah.
And then it can feel like you're being shot at by 5.
Oh yeah.
It's...
I'm gonna let you play the French vehicles.
Oh, you're
because
gonna move on?
I'm gonna move on.
We do
I'm
have some
gonna
other
play something
vehicles
else.
that have been changed in the 1.4 that we should cover.
Yeah?
The Chimera and the 279E. I know the 279E changes have been fairly controversial.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that a little bit. There's a reason the 7279E got some buffs. It had a very specific weakness with people shooting HE under it.
Yeah.
That was much... It was just way out of whack with the way the rest of the vehicles work.
Alright. What tank have I played? I have been really annoyed with the Super Conqueror because I feel like it can do okay, but I've been bad.
Even playing as an artillery, 3 artillery on the same team is too much.
Yeah. Because you can't, like, there's nowhere that your team isn't already aimed at. Because usually there's, like, 3-ish areas where, you know, tanks are meeting. But, like, with 2 artillery... Yeah. Anyways.
GPC on YouTube's got it. Shout out to GPC. Thanks for stopping by. Need RD for the Piscucci's medals. That's my favorite medal. I got one yesterday in my Cromwell B. I was so happy. Nothing makes my day more than getting a Piscucci's medal.
Why is this keeping me awake? Well, hopefully maybe you're enjoying us getting grilled for a little bit. So, you know, maybe it just looks delicious. I don't know. We're a barbecue here.
Slavic Boy, yeah, it's getting warm again in here.
Yeah.
As it always does. Slavic Boy wants to know if we give out codes. We don't have any codes right now. We will do some giveaways on some videos. Maybe we'll do some trivia.
Yeah.
But not today. Today we're just covering patch news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Complaints wouldn't go to 0. That is true, Warchild.
Yeah.
I do actually. I'm with you on the one. I personally support that. But I can promise you that complaints would not disappear.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do that will make everyone happy.
Yeah.
It's not.
No game is perfect.
Everyone wants different things from the game, and that's the reason you're never going to make everyone happy.
Yeah. If you look at enough games and enough of their communities, you'll find that in general, like, half of people aren't satisfied with something and the other half are satisfied with something exactly the way it is. And no matter what you do, you're gonna dissatisfy somebody.
Patrick McGinnis said win a game. Have we won? It's been rough.
It's been super
rough.
rough.
Yeah, shout out to Patrick. The last one we won was the Lynx on Airfield. Yeah, it's been a rough run.
Well, we also won the Ghost Town one in the Hotchkiss. There was that one. Yeah, no, actually, one.
So T-Law on YouTube, the scavenger hunt stuff should be fixed by tomorrow. There were some technical issues that popped up that are getting fixed by the server team.
3.
And Chaser Wolf on Twitch wanted no frontline ETA. I said it earlier in the stream. Monday.
3.
It's Monday.
We're 50-50 on our wins.
We're out now. We're coming out. Frontlines is Monday.
No, we're like 60-40. We're like 60-40 on our wins. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, we're on a recent bad run.
Yeah,
our last couple of matches have been brutal. Although I will say, yeah, the tier 10 Wheelie Boy on Himmelsdorf, not your favorite map.
I would love to have more skins, like 3D skins.
Oh yeah, and that's
camo,
definitely a priority.
Like that.
If you guys noticed during the Christmas loot boxes stuff, we have the girl skin, that awesome IS-7 skin that has the anti-air turret on the turret, the anti-air turret on the turret. Yeah. It is a turret on a turret. Yeah. I'm not even wrong.
Yeah, I know.
It's awesome. But yeah, the 3D customizations and skins are 100% a major priority moving forward. We want as much cool ones as possible. If you have cool ideas for ones, send them to us. We'll pitch them. I'll pitch anything. I have a reputation for being that guy.
Kurt says, best fix, make everything match one of only each class, problem solved.
So then it's that seems like you wouldn't be able to do 15 on 15.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be an interesting, like, competitive mode, though.
Yeah. I mean, we have tournaments that are kind of like, well...
That would be a fun tournament, actually.
That would be a fun tournament, just like one of each class.
That's a great idea. That's a fun idea.
We should pitch that to Jambi John.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I like that idea.
Wait, where am I going? Where did I go? I went somewhere.
So the tier 10 EBR 105 that I'm rolling around up here alone in the north, 95 kilometers an hour in max mobility mode.
Why can't we apply all skins to all tiers? The 3D skins are tank specific, but also right now we're kind of working on getting the tiers that people tend to be at. So like tier 10, tier 8, tier 6.
Tier 8,
yeah.
The short answer is that technology being implemented in the game is still being developed, and it's being done in waves. And we started with, as Tragic said, the more populous tiers, the higher tiers.
Yeah.
Because that's where, and that's also like for a tier 10 vehicle, that's gonna be where most players are gonna want the coolest customizations. Because for most players, not like it's perfectly fine to like in lower tier vehicles and play them, but most players are gonna want the tier 10s. The tier 10s are gonna be what they're playing the most from now on.
And they want them to look pretty.
Yeah, who doesn't want pretty tier 10s?
I don't actually know. Hashtag rhetorical questions that Tragic wants to answer. Ooh. Oh no! Come on, give me my... Oh, hello.
So I'm the only one in the whole north.
Oh man. I tried blind shotting him.
Ty says, seeing as how mediums are now the new spotters, light tanks are more suicide the enemy's rear and spot arty for counter battery. It's true at tier 10. I mean, that's... it's true.
Ignoring what?
Aside from the T100 LT, we're not seeing those light tanks.
So, in terms of loot boxes, when we talk about our loot boxes, you get at least your money's worth when you purchase the loot box. So you get premium time and gold, and generally that equalizes into about $5 to $6. So, and Reddit actually did a bunch of statistics on this. Generally, I think, let's see, 2017 loot boxes, I believe Reddit counted out that you earned about 11% more across the board from loot boxes than you would just by buying individually. So you're getting your money's worth. You just get bonus stuff on top of what you paid into the loot box. So
there are some larger, moral and ethical issues there that I think the gaming industry as a whole is in the middle of grappling with right now. But we do try and make sure with our boxes that at the very least you're getting value for money. In terms of gold and premium time, my suggestion and advice to all players would be that if you're not happy just getting the gold and premium time at a really great price, to not buy them when they do become available.
Oh no!
Vehicles are
I'm in a bad place.
Purely an unpredictable bonus.
Yeah. So you're you're essentially purchasing the gold with a chance to also get a tank. Don't bet on the tank, is what we're saying. Because then you're gambling yourself.
Thanks for stopping by, Boston.
Really.
Adam Hugo says Australians are just British Texans. More true than you know. And Texas is absolutely the United States Australia. There's so many things here that want you to die. Compared to the rest of the United States.
Alright, I'm about dead. I did none of my own damage. That was really frustrating, actually. Nice to see live streams so often. Thumbs up, guys. Thank you, Butch. Appreciated. We nerfed the 268v4. You don't actually see the 268v4 very often anymore.
Yeah, it seemed like a small nerf at the time, and I was kind of there was a group of people who were like, this nerf's not big enough, this tank's still broken, but at the very least, we're no longer seeing like 15 on 15 Clan Wars matches with it, which was horrible.
Oh man, I forgot that was a thing.
But it definitely has, there's certain situations in random battles where it's still extremely strong. But you got to know that weak spot bar right where the crease of the front plate is. It's bigger now. You can hit it. You just got to get shots in there.
So, Tom, as far as I know, the reason why loot boxes were illegal in some countries was because it was gambling, but we're pretty clear as to, the reasoning around our loot boxes. Like I said, don't go for the tank because you're gambling yourself. We give you your money's worth in just gold and premium time. It's just you get a bonus roll. It's like buying McDonald's and you get a chance at winning $1,000 or whatever. You're not gambling. You got your McDonald's, but you also get a chance to get additional stuff because you bought your McDonald's or whatever.
The IS-3A certainly a topic of the
contention.
Time. Yeah. I was among those who felt that it was too strong when it came out. I saw Skills' video. I trust Skills' opinion a lot. He knows a lot about the game. The data we've seen since its release has actually not been... It's really not overperforming as much as a lot of people seem to think it is.
Yeah.
Which may be a result of less skilled players having it. But, our balance team is monitoring the performance data from several different player segments at all times.
Hi, you guys are taking the chat well. Keep it up. Like, we try not to ignore messages. Sometimes we just miss messages because we're literally looking at 3 different chats and things are scrolling by super quickly, so we might miss your message. We like to try and address people's pain points, which is kind of partially the reason why we do streams like this, is so that we can have that immediate feedback back and forth between us and the community, and we hear you guys out. We know that there are lots of frustrations when it comes to World of Tanks, and we hope that you guys can be at least a little bit understanding. Sometimes things take a little while to figure out, so and people have asked this time and time again, why does it take so long to rebalance vehicles? One of the biggest things, and you guys have probably seen it very recently with the introduction of the wheeled vehicles. So, people are playing them a lot right now, so you're gonna see them way more often in battle than you normally would. If you compare the game now to what it was back when, let's say, the Italian line was released, people were playing that a lot. But over the course of time, people play them less and less, and so the meta goes from too many Italian tanks to a normal amount, and so it takes a really long time after new releases for our meta to balance out. And so it takes a while to gather the correct and informative data that we need to balance certain things out.
Grant Schaff on YouTube says the IS-3A's balancing factor is that it primarily sees tier 10s. I would say its balancing factor is that the hull is actually very easy to penetrate for a tier 8 heavy. You know,
it really is.
It's not as tough of a tank as many other tier 8 heavies, despite its very strong offensive potential.
I want to play mouse. I just kind of want to play tier 10s.
Oh, you want, okay. Mouse it up.
Because I want to bully people.
Fair enough. Well, if we're gonna bring memes, I will bring the biggest meme of them all.
Have I ever had the chance to meet the mighty Jingles? Unfortunately, I haven't.
I have.
I met Quickie Baby though
at Bobbington last year, and he's a really friendly, cool guy. If you get a chance to meet him, you should.
Have we covered the new matchmaker idea? Yeah, we did actually. We talked about it for quite a while. We actually had a little bit of discussion with a couple people, and so that was really interesting. So, new matchmaker thoughts essentially is flexible. So this is not a part of 1.4. Flexible matchmaker essentially will make it so you don't get the normal template, which is 357, but instead matchmaker will try and shift things into like 4. What was it? 4, 5, 6.
That was the other.
15.
That was the
so
different spread.
It'll shift back and forth. You could have like one top tier, and then it'll still have like 3 and 2 tier spreads. It'll just not be the 357. So right now we're in a 15. So.
And World of Tanks North America on YouTube is not a bot. That is our lovely community coordinator, Crazy Boop, who is doing us the favor of helping out in chat today, posting links, moderating, etc.
Yeah, there we go. So Cryptic Shock says stuff like 356, 555, 446.
There's also some other 2-tier templates, I think, that are being rolled in as well.
Cryptic Shock, I think you mean 447. Because 446 equals 14, not 15. I actually really don't like Empire's Border.
I don't either. Not my favorite map.
When or are the wheeled vehicles going to be added to the console version? Unfortunately, we don't develop the console version. You're probably going to want to follow the console's social media and stuff like that. But, and this is speculation, generally console tries to follow what kind of tank lines we release, so it could possibly happen. However, we don't have information to provide you on that as we don't develop console.
Deathman wanted me to play the 2790. I might bust that next game if we keep playing tier 10. I wanted to play the meme wagon right now.
So, Tom wants to know server transfers. We actually talked about this on Tuesday.
Yeah, so you can go back, our most recent Reddit AMA where we had Andrei Beletsky and Max Chuvalov in the office doing an AMA on Reddit. We talked about this. It was actually, I think it was Artem Safronov who had the point. Basically, a couple of years ago, you guys may remember, we did the transfer to APAC, and the too long didn't read is it was much more difficult and much more expensive to do because it all had to be done manually. So the server transfers and roaming are an ideal for long term. We want to be able to do those things. We want to have a system that is built properly, that interacts with the different servers properly to do that. That system is not, it doesn't exist right now. It has to be built and incorporated into the rest of our server tools. It is something that is being worked on. We don't have any news on when it will be available. But the manual transfers was just not a what's the word I'm searching for here? Feasible solution to the problem long term. I don't know why I'm brawling in the FE 4005.
I don't know either. What are you doing with your
life? I'm dying is what I'm doing. I got caught talking instead of thinking. All right, I'll farm chat here.
You'll farm
That was
chat.
a horrible game by me.
Oh,
Ugh.
man.
We'll be streaming until 6 p.m. Central, Roman
Which is
dude.
like 25 minutes?
Catching up on us now. Yeah,
Plus or minus.
Crazy already got to him. Jacob had a question about Blitz I'm going to try and track down.
Blitz, the outlines of tanks face one way when I see the tank's gun is facing a totally different way. Interesting, for one.
See you later, Lewis. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. GPC said no one likes Empire's Border. That is sort of the feeling I've gotten.
Yeah, so,
we
Reddit,
just passed on that map survey that
Yeah.
Brett you're about to mention, I think, to the devs. So hopefully they get the memo.
Okay, time to side scrape, although this isn't going to help me much.
Sorry, Jacob. I'm trying to... Here we go. I have an issue on Blitz where the outline of a tank is different than the actual vehicle. The gun is facing one way when looking at an enemy, but the green-red outline is directionally different. Not aware of that issue. I don't have the known issues list for Blitz available to me. My recommendation, Jacob, would be to file a customer support ticket with the Blitz team and try and include some screenshots. And if they are able to verify that, they can file a bug report and hopefully get that issue fixed.
I
We do
can't
need...
see anything past your dead tank, by the way. Thanks for dying there. Terrible choice. Pick better places to die.
Will we see a different Frontlines map in 2019? Can't answer that right now because I don't know. It's possible, but the focus right now is definitely on the current iteration of Frontline for the season, which is February through November. So now that I think about it, it's actually not possible. The season is going to be on the one map. Will you see a different Frontlines map eventually? Almost definitely.
We're gonna get overrun.
Someone had a question. Corrado, Crazy should be able to fill you in on the scavenger today. We had a technical issue with the scavenger missions that had to be fixed by the server team, and that may not be fixed till tomorrow, but I do think there is still a code coming out today. How about Watt Tank nickname inscriptions? Death Star should learn. Oops! I'm fired!
Oh no.
Heat 54, etc. I like the idea.
Oh, no.
So the issue is we'd have to give the actual letters, or sorry, the issue with giving the actual letters is then we'd have to deal with moderating what people spell on their tanks, which I play MechWarrior online now and then, and if you see what people write on mechs, that could become a real problem.
Oh no! I missed that guy. I should have not done what I did.
Mouse, survive!
Nope, can't.
How does one become a cabbage mechanic? Let us ponder that a bit. Boo! Boo! Tyler Grinstorm, as far as the new matchmaking, I would go catch the video that was posted today on our YouTube channel, World of Tanks North America. We have the Dev Diaries covering Matchmaker. That'll be able to explain it in much more detail than we are. The short of it is we're going to emphasize different templates that cause people to be bottom tier less, especially at tier 8.
May I ask where some people went? Aloe8 actually left a really long time ago.
Yeah, Aloe8's been gone a long time.
Nico Power left with our moves, so did CC Sly and Dogface, unfortunately.
Yes.
They all moved on to better companies. Oof. Ouch. Insulting myself. They all moved on to different companies.
The short answer there is we moved to Texas and they didn't. They're all lovely people. I'm personally familiar with all of those people. CC Sly especially is my homeboy. But they chose not to make the move to Texas. Y'all aren't very good players for people who make the
Tank Commander, like I said, we don't develop for Blitz, so unfortunately we don't have information about that for you. I recommend following their social media and their platforms, because we just don't have that kind of information. We do World of Tanks PC and World of Warships in this specific office, so, you know, we don't have the information, nor can we find anyone to get us information.
Well, I mean, we could, but it's faster for you to go directly to them.
Yeah.
Dogface is great, by the way. He didn't disappear as soon as he came here. He was around. Yeah. Y'all aren't very good players for people who make the game. Fair point. no one here is claiming that we're here to teach you how to play.
Yeah.
You should go to several other sources for that. But we don't make the game. We work in publishing.
We're also
we're here to
kind
talk
of
to you.
focused on talking, but also my stats aren't that bad. I have a 63% win rate in general.
On the sheriff account?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I have I'm a green player on my normal account. I'm a lot better than I used to be. David Dragonhammer says, "What is the cabbage mechanic? Where are you based out of?" I'm just a bad chef. That's what the name. It's a Royal Navy slang term. And I'm in Austin with the rest of the World of Tanks North America crew. Yeah, Andrew, we're in Austin. You asked that question.
Would World of Tanks ever consider satellite offices? We have done that, and we actually consolidated, which is why we used to have an office in California, but now we are based in Austin, Texas.
And we still have a lot of satellite offices. By the way. We have offices
like a lot.
Yes, Tokyo, Seattle, Chicago, Baltimore, in the U.S. alone.
Ooh,
overseas, Kiev, Belarus, Cyprus.
You don't
St.
sound
Petersburg.
like you're in Texas.
Sorry.
I'm from California.
I'm from Chicago.
So.
But yeah, I don't have a Texan accent. I will say I'm picking up y'all. Y'all is the best word ever.
Y'all is a great word.
I'm 100% behind y'all. Texas, I love Texas, and Texas is rapidly converting me. So the accent might come.
Yeah, maybe. Eventually. My dad is actually from Texas, so yeah.
All right, I'm bringing out the 279E for Deathman.
All right.
So I hope he's still here.
All right.
We're playing the other meme machine with 4 treads.
So ETA on new matchmaker next month, next week. NA will beta test?
Actually, a Russia server is going to beta test.
Yeah.
T-Law. They did announce
Bigger
that in the
server.
diaries. Yeah.
Lots more information.
Going to be able to get a lot of info real fast.
Yeah. You're from California. I feel bad for you. Why? I actually am, absolutely enjoying Austin. There's nice culture here.
I think maybe you're saying you're from California. Aren't you glad you got out? What's the line? I still love California, but I wasn't upset to move, to be frank.
I was kind of upset to move, mostly because I had no idea what to expect, but...
Axel, I grew up in Richton Park. So south suburbs.
I mean, win rate doesn't mean anything, but there's a lot of stats where you could be like, that doesn't mean anything, so...
Timothy on Facebook says he expects to see us with cowboy hats soon.
We have Scrublord on the other team. Genuinely.
The best part of Texas is leaving it.
A lot of
I gotta disagree.
Oh my god! The other team
It's
is
not
true. The other team has Bulba, G, Yujo.
Oh my lord.
Yeah!
They're all in their brand new chieftains.
Oh no!
Oh no! And look at all the chieftains! So ask me how I know that the clan rewards just came through.
Hi. Oh, we have the elusive man on our team as well. Oh man. Tanks Grang? What's Grang? Ask me how I know clan rewards just came out.
Yeah, I will say I'm very pro Texas. I'm very happy here. California has Texas beat on burritos. I'm sorry. California does.
California?
Texas
okay, so far
converting me to breakfast tacos. Though.
So far I've found that there is a huge lack of good Chinese food though, which is really unfortunate. There's just not a lot of options.
Go Gabriel Nordquist throwing though there's no good Mexican food in Texas. It's Tex-Mex. That's the standard argument. I don't know about that. I as a connoisseur of the variety.
Yeah, I know who he is. He actually was not from the Seattle office. He was in our office.
Yeah.
He moved on to a different company as well.
Also did not come to Texas, but he was with us up until the move to Texas. Yeah, I know Wellington really well. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I've actually known him for 5 years. I knew him since I started playing tanks, actually. Oof. You almost got shot in the back. Botox? Botox? Okay. Oh, man.
I got Sarge from Otter trolling me in chat.
Is he now?
Is there such a thing as clan rewards as he's driving his brand new T95?
I'm waiting for someone to be like, oh, M60.
Well, I guess from his perspective, he paid bonds for it, so...
Yeah.
He's like...
What are the M60 codes?
Arcanite, yes, we moved our publishing, U.S. publishing from San Francisco area to Austin. Yep, Timothy, that's pretty much the deal. Just about everyone had a chance to move. So a lot of people did, a lot of people didn't. We had a lot of people at the office.
Ooh. Near Bee Caves is good Chinese food, apparently.
Oh,
I
yeah?
will have to try that.
Yeah, I will take any and all recommendations y'all have.
Y'all.
Working it in.
Y'all have.
You want to get people to play your game? Set up a booth in Minnesota at the Mall of America. I'll take that note.
That
We're
would be
trying to get
fun.
up north a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hashtag send tragic to Canada.
if you were to choose between the T100LT or the WZ132L, which would you choose? I'm going to go with the meta pick and tell you what all the good players and competitive players are doing. The T100LT is the move. If you want to be a different guy,
Oh, where did he get
the WZ is decent, but the T100 is definitely the favored of the tier 10 lights to push for. It's got that really small profile. It's really fast. The terrain resistances are excellent.
Oh, they're firing HE at me.
Just it does damage every time you hit.
It does damage every
my
time.
favorite
HE. Shoot it.
Yeah, I've heard that Houston is the real food spot in the area. We're not too far away. Greg Holt says you have to come to Texas for Whataburger. I've been here to Texas for Whataburger, and I love Whataburger. What can I say?
Honestly, I'm not super impressed by Whataburger. I prefer P. Terry's.
I do.
If you've tried.
I do prefer P. Terry's. P. Terry's. I'll take P. Terry's over In-N-Out though. And there's a bunch of angry Californians somewhere threatening me with pitchforks.
I like
but
both. If I crave In-N-Out, but P. Terry's is like my go-to. Is the thing.
Ty McFadden says y'all should move up here to
That's
Seattle.
what it
We
is.
legalized. I'm sure you're talking about cheeseburgers, but they're legal here too.
Yeah, cheeseburgers are absolutely legal here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I love being bottom tier. Jeez, you guys. So watch the matchmaking video.
HE always
Major
does
Tom just came out
damage.
today. We just released the dev diaries on the matchmaking updates.
Yeah.
Swapping fires and earthquakes for howling tornadoes. Yes, and I have already experienced a tornado warning. Where I grew up in Illinois, actually, we had tornado warnings fairly regularly, so it's not completely new to me, but it is a change from being on the West Coast for most of the last few years.
This make me sad.
Ty McFadden says, yes, cheeseburger.
Ooh,
Oh, I just totally shot a dead tank.
nice.
Dang it, guys, now I'm hungry. Me too. It's about time to go get dinner.
Yeah, honestly, I'm hungry as well. Ooh, oh, hi, Swedish chef. Hello.
Did you die?
I did.
You're not
I
supposed to
just
die.
Dude, I was getting.
All these guys are mad at us because we're not
I
good
blocked.
enough.
I blocked like 4K damage, and then everyone decided HE was the thing to do. So.
We gotta get good.
I
Keep
man.
telling myself to get good. I just don't know
Yeah,
why it's taking so
well,
long.
Gotta put more effort in. In-game name? Question mark? Question mark? Me?
It's at the bottom of your picture.
Yeah,
Mine is.
my in-game name is right here. I should just change your username under your face.
To what?
I don't know, something that's not Cabbage Mechanic one
You
day
think
and
so?
see if you'll notice.
Well, I think the obvious answer is Kimchi Repairman. It's my most popular nickname.
How much do I need to pay to get to EU? Probably millions of dollars. Our point with expensive was stuff like paying employees to do stuff like moves.
Yeah,
like
there
me.
was technical issues too.
Yeah.
So that's the man hours increased because the technical was technically more difficult on a mass scale than we had previously had. This is terrifying. All four of these guys are all coming at me at the same time. And that guy's got 1% health. What nonsense.
Yeah, we don't usually take friend requests, mostly because, like, they're sheriff accounts. They're not our real accounts.
Oh, T92.
Oh.
I fought bravely, friends. I hope
You
that's enough.
tried.
Von Rector says, just finished my shift at the rail yard. Might order a pizza for dinner because you made me hungry.
I'm
Alright,
hungry.
well, I hope it's a good pizza.
Dude, I'm really hungry now.
What kind of pizza would you get if you could order a pizza right now?
Ooh, I would get a combo. So, like, pepperoni, green peppers, bacon.
I generally I also generally don't I also generally don't take friend requests. I get like dozens of friend requests a day, guys. It's not personal. I love all of you, but I don't have time to play with everyone. If you do have a chance to message me, I'll try and respond. But
so he doesn't take friend requests, but he does have M60 codes. So please make sure to message him in game on his personal account. His username is right underneath his face. So do make sure to message him in game.
That's I'm getting
or on Reddit. Honestly, Reddit is also a good place to contact Cabbage Mechanic for your M60 code.
This is
just
revenge
message
for me
him.
ignoring her pizza order. I would go with a solid thin crust pepperoni, personally. Tragic and Cabbage cannot live stream without food being the combo. World of Food, no more food. Well, I will say after 5:30 our time is about when the food starts to hit.
Oh yeah, ooh. I would take so much food right now.
I had some almonds for lunch too, so I'm ready to go.
Oh man.
All right, I think we got time for one more game.
One quick game. So let's do a lower tier.
Panzer 1C?
Yeah. you know it. I always do PZ1C. Oh man. Alrighty.
Was it 3 or 2?
3.
I don't play low tier, so I don't know.
Mushrooms are proof of the devil? What? I love mushrooms.
I love mushrooms too.
I'm very disappointed. Let's see.
Especially
what
sauteed
happened to
mushrooms.
Tank Rewards? We actually had a conversation about this today.
We had a meeting today where the new returning Tank Rewards, it's going to be totally different than the old Tank Rewards.
Yeah.
But we do have something called Tank Rewards that sort of does the same thing as the old Tank Rewards, and it is coming back.
Yeah.
It's in development right now.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to it. Basically what happened to it, it was
developed by a single person in our last office.
Should I use the word janky? Is janky the right word? The way that Tank Rewards worked was very janky in the past. The guy who built it, hip, lovely guy. Many of you might be familiar with him from his time on the esports team.
Hypnotic.
Built it, but did not come with us. And operating it without his duct tape fixes to consistently keep it running was just not possible. Yeah. And then we talked about we maybe had a way to figure out to get it reopened, but at the time, the resources we would put into that versus just building a new version that was, properly made, we decided to go that route. So that's what's happening. Tank Rewards is coming back. It's going to be properly programmed.
Wolfpack.
It's going to be great.
Wolfpack wants to know, where are all the sheriffs? So we have an entire clan of sheriffs. They're all generally CCs and Wargaming employees. They generally play over the course of the week. However, we do have sheriff weekends occasionally. We ran one, I believe, let's see, was it last month? Oh no.
We had and we also run sheriff event weekends, and we're going to be running another one fairly soon. Very soon. Yeah. So there will be more sheriffs. Keep an eye on our news portal and social media and forum posts. But we will be recruiting people to play sheriff. We're calling them the Sheriff Posse. We have a posse clan set up for that purpose, and we're going to be recruiting people to play in the Sheriff's Posse during the next Sheriff Weekend. I want to cut back to an old comment that we missed from Larry3 on YouTube. Part of me wanted to change all the names of my crew and my M36 Jackson to Jackson so I could call them the Jackson 5. Do this now. I will give you the gold. Send me your username.
I will give you the gold.
I will give you the gold to make those names
But you have to send proof once you do.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
XJ3 Tier says, when can I become a CC? I'll accept next week's code. As right now, the CC program is invite only. Yeah. If you'd like to become a CC, my best advice is to make good, positive World of Tanks content regularly. That's what I'm looking for. Yes. We have a lot of great CCs already. We're always looking for more. We are in a bit of a downturn right now while we focus on other things, but that if you would like to become a CC, that's the path. Yes. B-Ted's here.
Pineapple pizza.
B-Ted, tell them about Watt Wheels.
Watt Wheels. Oh no. So Tom was asking if we fix the bug where the ground disappears. If you're having any bug issues, please do send a support ticket in, because that is your best bet at getting us to notice things. Unfortunately, we can't, as we're playing, we won't run into the same bugs as you will. However, if you can get evidence, proof, screenshots, videos, etc. of these things happening, that would be fantastic. We do appreciate that you guys help us out when it comes to actually finding these. I am stuck. I need help.
The old adage on bug fixing is documentation, documentation, documentation.
Yes.
The more proof and information you guys can give us about the bugs, the sooner we can get a proper report filed that will get them fixed.
Yes.
So we greatly appreciate your help with that. Please do send in a ticket if you have spotted a bug.
Do you guys have a particular tank or whole line that you'd like to see in the game? I'd love to see the Japanese tank destroyers. So someone earlier in the stream actually talked about this. Me personally, so, and this might come as a surprise to most people, I'm not a huge history buff. I like playing tanks because I like playing tanks. So I don't know too much about all of the history of tanks that were used in all of the wars or whatnot. So it's kind of unfortunate, but I like tanks. I like shooting things.
I'm with that. I'm with GPC actually. I want to see British lights. I like the other British lines. I'd like to see British lights. Oh yeah, Watt Wheels was the joke about wheeled vehicles. John Golden. I will take a look at the T92 thing that you mentioned earlier with the splash damage doing more damage than the normal than the direct hit.
Adding Swedish suspension mechanics to the STB1. So we don't always follow things historically, mostly, and I know you specifically might laugh at this, in lieu of balance. So we don't just add things to tanks because they hadn't had them historically, but we do try to get the models and all of the different pieces of a tank on it historically.
That said, the STB1 is getting a rework. I do not know if that's going to be a part of the rebalance.
Yeah.
But it's a good point. They did have it historically, so I honestly don't know. Once we know and we can tell you, we will.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we only have a couple of minutes left in the stream, so do you have any closing words to say?
If I say anything, will you... Oh wait, I said no first last time. Let's take a few more questions. We can wrap up. But overall, enjoy the wheeled vehicles. Brand new line to check out. I played it mostly for the first time here. My experience was I am bad in them, and the Tier 10 actually has a surprisingly good gun, so it's worth checking out. A lot of testing and check out our CCs for more content. I'm sure Widow 1212
for better
Sophie
skill
Lynn,
content.
Trobs Monkey, Mountain Man, True Voodoo, all those great people are probably going to be able to give you much better information on how they are balance wise than we are. Have a good time playing tanks. Like, remember that the point is to have fun and not necessarily have the best stats.
Yeah.
That's easy for me to say because my stats are bad. Maybe your stats are great, and that's how you have fun. Keep doing what you're doing if that's the case.
I think, let's see, on my personal account, I actually have, pretty okay stats.
She
I'm
has better
above
stats than you.
average.
That's her way of saying she has better stats than I do.
It is.
She does.
Anyways, that is just about the end of the stream, so thank you guys for joining us. We hope you guys, we hope this was insightful, at least for you guys. We will be back every Tuesday and Thursday when we can. Sometimes I'm not here, so Cabbage gets really sad and he can't stream. But otherwise, let's see. Oh man, hold on.
My stream would actually just be a slideshow of pictures from my phone. That's about what I can technically manage with the equipment we have in the room.
So we are going to be streaming on the 15th of next week. So we have, we're going to be streaming on the 12th and the 14th and the 15th of next week, because front lines. And then March is going to be slightly different, but generally we're going to have Tuesdays and Thursdays and the occasional Fridays, which we will tell you when we are streaming on Fridays, so do keep that in mind. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining us. We hope like I said, this was insightful and maybe had a little bit of fun making fun of us playing very poorly in our French wheeled vehicles. Do check out our CCs, like Cabbage said. Last words.
Definitely the last words. That's right, I didn't kick the cables today. I didn't knock out our chat monitor. So big ups to Cabbage Mechanic.
Good job.
For not ruining the stream. Have a great night, everyone. We love you guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.